guys, I'm Sydney.
I'm Zach.
And you're watching S&Z. So today is the official start of 2018 pumpkin spice coffee season.
Pumpkin spice.
I am so excited.
The pumpkin coffee is the best of the flavored coffees. And I like peppermint mocha a lot, but I'll say that,
I'm a caramel fan myself, but pumpkin just, it holds that special place in my heart where
it really does.
I have to have it. So there are 3 major coffee chains across the United States that have started their coffee today. That's Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf.
Yeah.
So us being the crazy kids that we are, decided to take it upon ourselves to go to all 3 places.
You know us millennials with our coffees and pumpkins and stuff. It's all we need.
Yep. So we decided that we wanted to try all 3. We'd never tried the coffee bean one. Wanted to try all 3, kind of rank all 3, at least on our tastes, and kind of see which one we think reigns supreme.
Yeah. So here's the clips.
Alright, so first off we have Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. This has become quickly one of our favorite coffee chains over the past year. If you follow either of us on Instagram, you've seen us try the Vietnamese cold brew, the horchata latte, and a couple other crazy things from them. But this is really the most simplistic thing we've ever ordered from them besides iced tea.
Yeah, and I've always liked Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. 2 guys I went to high school with, the Sams, they worked at Coffee Bean, and they were always like, oh, try this, try this, try that, try this. And it was always pretty fun, and then once I left high school, I never really had it again. It was just like, and then one day she was like, oh, let's get some Coffee Bean. And I was like, yeah, sure. So
I'd never tried it, and I wanted to try something new, so I'm glad I did. It's like I said, quickly become one of my favorites, and they're a lot different from other coffee places.
I don't want to say classier, but kind of classier. Like a little bit. You feel less bad. Like you don't ever go in there going like, oh, it's gonna be mediocre today. You're always like, it's gonna be delicious.
It's always delicious, no matter what you get. And the cool thing about this is they actually use flavored powder instead of flavored syrup, which a lot of times the syrup kind of condenses at the bottom of it and just kind of just sits there.
Well, by that same token, there's powder floating at the top.
They put a cinnamon nutmeg
Is that what it
like
is?
topping on it.
It looks very white to be cinnamon nutmeg.
I don't know. They put some kind of topping on top of it as well.
There's a topping. There's a crust. So I've never had the pumpkin. We've never had it from Coffee Bean Tea Leaf. So this is the first time we've had this. So I'm ready. I like the color already. It looks right.
Well, and then it contrasted with the purple of their straw and their logo. It's so
the purple is so the purple's like the one thing you're just like Starbucks has green. These are guys are like purple.
Right.
Like I'm saying, the color is right on.
And they have pebble ice.
Pebble ice. So I'm gonna. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go
I
first?
do want to go
She's
first.
gonna go first, as it should be. Let me try it. Let me see how it is before you discourage my taste buds with your information.
So obviously first we went to Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. Like I said, that was one that we'd never tried before. It's honestly more of a newer coffee place for us to go to. It's a little out of our way most of the time.
A little bit, yeah.
But definitely one of our favorites. It quickly has grown on us, and
Their Black Forest, for anybody who's like me.
the Black Forest Ice Blended, so good.
Heaven.
But this was really kind of surprising to me how good this one was.
Yeah. I
It
agree.
was super creamy. It actually tasted like pumpkin, and to me that's super important when it comes to a pumpkin coffee. So we decided that we were going to rank it on 4 different parameters. Zach made these lovely little sheets.
I just eyeballed these. I just want to get in. Look how pretty these are. It's all even, pretty good. But I'm super pleased with how this turned out.
All right.
So we're going by taste, obviously very important. Color, very important as well. I know
At
that's
least to us it is.
kind of dumb, but yeah, the color of the coffee, that's super important. Spice, because obviously it's pumpkin spice. It's got to have that factor in it. And if it reminds us of fall or not. Like, that's a big thing. Like, if I'm taking a swig of pumpkin coffee, I want it to be like, man, fall is here. Overall. We're going to do this on a scale of 1 to 5. Very similar to Iron Chef. We're going to judge it based on all these criteria. Then we're going to go and see who is the absolute winner. À la cuisine. Overall. We're going to do this on a scale of 1 to 5. Very similar to Iron Chef. We're going to judge it based on all these criteria, then we're going to go and see who is the absolute winner. I like Quissy. All right, so what was your pick?
So, since it was something that I'm not necessarily used to when it comes to pumpkin spice coffee, usually it's more so on the spice range for me. So having something that tasted like pumpkin was amazing, but a little bit new. I wasn't ready to give it a 5. I think I need to try it at least one more time before I get to that point, but I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 5. Because I think it was delightful.
It was really good. And I really want to try their ice blended.
Yeah.
Because I love their ice blendeds. That's honestly like one of my favorite things from them. So much better than frappuccinos. Like, because they're not as heavy and they're not as sweet. But I did really like the fact that they use flavoring powder instead of syrup.
Because
that made it so much lighter.
Yeah.
It was really tasty.
Color.
4. I mean,
Gave it a 5.
it wasn't that perfect pumpkin orange color, but it was pretty damn close.
I gave it a 5 solely because I don't know if it was just the stars in my eyes first pumpkin coffee of the year,
Maybe.
but well, not of the year, but of the season. But yeah, I gave it a 5 in terms of that. It really it felt nice. I liked it.
So for spice, I gave it kind of a middle of the road. For me, it wasn't super spicy like most other pumpkin spice coffees are. It had some great cinnamon and nutmeg notes to it, but it wasn't like, oh, this is pumpkin spice. It was, this is a really nicely spiced pumpkin. So I gave it a 3. I mean, like I said, a little mellow on the spice, but it was a good amount of spice for what it was.
I gave it a 4 because I felt it was there, but I felt it was a step enough back to where it let the coffee kind of shine a little bit more. And that's important. But a 4 is just, it was there, but it could have been there more.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Definitely.
And did it remind us of fall? 5.
I gave it a 4. Like I said, it's not
Even.
my regular, this is fall drink. Like, when I normally drink a pumpkin spice coffee, it's just like, hell yeah, fall is here. This one, it was like, this is very delightful. Oh yes, fall is here, but it's not like, fall is here! Like, it was just like, fall is here. Like, I don't know. To me, it was a 4.
Yeah. So overall, I gave it a 19.
15.
Next is Dunkin'.
So we are here at Dunkin'. Obviously, you can see it in the
A
background.
little bit, yeah. Drive through.
So this is actually a newer one to us, at least.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It was so cute.
It's beautiful inside.
I
Like,
may or may not have had a mini photo shoot inside because I wanted to.
It's really nice.
Super cute.
Yeah.
Lots of couches, lots of plush furniture, and even outside is like really pretty like landscape. There's lots of like fauna, and it's
Some flora too.
some flora. It was really cute. But if you've been around on our channel for a while, you know that we love Dunkin' Donuts for pumpkin coffee. That's usually our go-to.
Yeah.
1, because it's really tasty, and 2, because it's really inexpensive. The coffee we got at Coffee Bean was $4. We had a $1 off coupon, so about $5. But for $5, we were able to get 2 coffees here. So we got one without cream, which is the way that Zach likes it, and then one with cream, which
gosh,
just
look
looks
at it.
like white.
Whereas this looks really nice and pumpkin-y.
So obviously Arizona Cardinals.
We live in Arizona, if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I haven't had it yet. She's been sipping on hers just to make sure it wasn't bad before we left.
Well,
but
that and when you have a straw in your mouth when you're taking photos, really it's kind of just instinctive that you just want to drink out of that straw. So
as we said, Dunkin' is kind of our go-to. That's the main one we generally go to. So, I mean, let's tally up these scores and.
if you watched any of our Halloween videos last year, you saw that was our go-to. Like, we would go to Dunkin', get a pumpkin coffee, we would go Halloween shopping, and that was our fall ritual last year. So it's really hard for me to kind of step outside of that and think of anything else as like my fall go-to. So for taste on this one, even though mine was a little on the like super creamy side, I still gave it a 5.
I gave it a 3. I think the fact that we've had it so much and it's so there, it's just like, it's almost like, I don't even know, it's almost like brushing your teeth, I guess, where it's just like, you know the same flavor every single time, and it's just, it's not really that good. Like, it's not, something that I really feel very strongly about, I guess. It's decreased in me liking it over time to the point where I'm at a 3 now. It's still good, but it ain't the best.
Coffee beans are new.
We will see how this ends up in this video, but they're the front runner.
Yeah. So for color, I obviously couldn't really judge mine the best. Yeah. Mine was white.
Yeah, hers was a little off.
Honestly, I kind of gave it a 3. It still had a little bit of an orange tinge to it when you were looking at it in the right light, but it was... He put it on the counter and I was like, oh, so much for light cream.
Yeah, well...
Thank you for
that's a whole thing with coffee places. You ask for light something, they don't listen.
Their
light
system, though, is automated with all of their flavors and all of their creams and everything, at least from what I've seen. So anytime I'm like, oh, yeah, I just want, like, half the creamer, they're like, well, we normally put 3 in there, so do you want 1 or do you want 2? And I was like...
2 is too many.
2?
It's too many.
Apparently, so...
I don't get cream. Don't eat it. So I gave mine a 5. I mean, it was very much the burnt orange color that I was looking for, and it worked for me.
Yeah, that's why I used yours for my photo shoot.
Yeah, and kept drinking it. So. Whatever. And spice level. I gave mine a 4.
Same.
Give it 4. Good spice level to it, where it worked. Mm-hmm. But it's so much... I think it's a little too heavy on the spices.
But that's what it is, though. It's a pumpkin spice coffee. It's not a pumpkin coffee. It's pumpkin spice.
If it's pumpkin coffee, it's going to be like, ew. What the hell did you just serve me? There is no pumpkin without spice. Let's just establish that now. If someone is giving you pumpkin anything... There's other flavors in there. Just, you have to know that.
So what you're saying is when we carve pumpkins this year, you're going to shake some pumpkin spice in there and just be like, oh, yeah, spicy pumpkin carving.
Just like if someone were to be like, oh, what did you do for this? I just blended up some pumpkin guts and just put a little bit of coffee in there. That's not the way to do it.
I would drink it.
I would try it. I'm tempted. That might be a video. Us
DIY pumpkin spice.
No, just DIY pumpkin coffee. It's like, it's literally just pumpkin and coffee. Nothing else.
I'm down.
Yeah. So, and then, obviously, the last, and most, in my opinion, most important category, did it remind you of fall?
It did.
5.
5.
Gotta give it a 5.
It's that nostalgic aspect of it, where that's kind of been our go-to pumpkin coffee for so many years now, that kind of is, like I said, that's the one that really kick-started fall for me today.
Yeah.
Fall is here. It's time, let's get this going. And it was kind of nice to have that while we were doing other things today, while we were doing Halloween shopping and things like that. Like, to me, that was like, okay, cool. Summer's over. Let's get this going.
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, fall. It's in the cup. It works. It's just, it's kind of like me with the peppermint mocha. I get that on Black Friday. Because to me, that's really the start of the Christmas season, is the day after Thanksgiving, or like, I guess on Thanksgiving, because most times you go out right after you eat your meal, but it's just, that's the start of that. Yeah. And this pumpkin coffee really is, I mean, there have been Halloween decorations in stores for weeks, months almost at this point, but really when you break it down, it's the pumpkin coffee. Yeah. That to me is the first real taste of fall.
And it's funny that you say that, because honestly, that is when we do start our Christmas. Everything is after Thanksgiving dinner. We go out, we get a pumpkin, or we go out and we get a peppermint mocha and a caramel apple spice cider for me, and do some Black Friday shopping. And then that's when we kind of transition ourselves from fall into winter. And like you said, for this one, this is how we transition from summer into fall, pumpkin coffee. I go from iced tea to pumpkin coffee to apple cider, and then back into iced coffee again. So
yeah, but no. So I gave it a 17 overall.
17.
As I say, it's a little different 17, but we both gave it a 17. So A+.
All right, guys, and next is honestly the white girl holy grail of pumpkin coffee. The PSL from Starbucks. So after 4 Starbucks locations and multiple no's, we finally were able to get Starbucks pumpkin spice. We walked into this location and they had their sign up, they were unboxing everything, and in my opinion, if you're advertising it, you're selling it.
Yeah, and they had already gone through one whole thing of it already.
That we know
So
of.
The guy was like, oh, do we have any more? And I was like, yeah, just go in the back and get more. It's just like, we're already out? How are we already out? Oh my God.
He was very scared, but he also seemed very new.
I was scared too.
And Yeah, unfortunately we had to have the first one remade. Once they handed it to us, it looked very dark.
And I was like, maybe they'd put like chocolate in or something, but I
Yeah.
looked at the thing and I was like, no. I was like, well, all right.
So I made Zach taste it because I'm a wimp, and it was bad.
Then I made her
He made me
taste it.
taste it, and I almost cried. It was so bad. But this one seems a lot better. It's actually orange-ish. As orange as a cold brew with pumpkin is going to be.
Yeah,
Zach,
as clay looking as you like it to be.
Zach is very much in the realm of wanting iced coffee with pumpkin syrup, and that's it. I like having a little bit of cream in there. I like the pumpkin spice latte personally because I like having a little bit of milk to kind of cut some of that super sweetness of the
Cut it
pumpkin.
down.
But yeah, he's very excited that he gets not one, not two, but 3 pumpkin
Yes.
drinks today.
3.
So, and 4 if you include the part that you drank of mine from Dunkin'.
I just had a couple sips. Too creamy. I didn't like it.
It was very creamy compared
not
to
a
what I
fan.
normally want. I should have just gone with 1 cream instead of
Oh,
2.
that's what you did. That's why I don't get cream. Cream and coffee is fine, like when I'm having a cup of hot coffee in the morning, but I don't want cream in my iced coffee.
Which is funny because I'm the opposite. I like my hot coffee black, but I like my iced coffee with a little bit of cream or milk or something in it. Normally I get coconut milk, but I didn't think that would be very good with pumpkin. But maybe it would be. I don't know.
You never
But
know.
either way,
This obviously is just
Starbucks
day one.
pumpkin spice
Yeah.
latte.
We'll try and do custom ones later. This is early, just regular.
That would be kind of fun doing like custom, like our favorite custom
Stay
pumpkin
tuned.
drinks. Let us know down below if you'd want to see that. All right, so obviously we didn't get a standard pumpkin spice latte. Like I said, Zach's really not the biggest fan of pumpkin spice lattes. He's more pumpkin spice coffee.
Oh, yeah, anything.
So we ended up getting a cold brew with like a splash of cream in it to kind of cut how weirdly burnt it was.
Yeah.
And
It
then
was weird.
some pumpkin.
Like I said, cold brew should not be bitter and burnt. It just, if you're making bitter cold brew, you're not actually making cold brew. No. Yeah. So for taste, what'd you do?
A 3.
I did a 3 as well.
It was very middle of the road. I've definitely had better pumpkin coffee from Starbucks. I don't know if it's because the baristas that we interacted with were very new and kind of rushing through making our
Could
coffee,
be.
or if it's because it's not a standard pumpkin spice latte and instead it was a cold brew.
See, you can't judge that on that because
But that's
it's
how
the,
you always drink
and
it.
and it's the pumpkin flavor. It's not everything else. I mean, it's
Yeah.
we weren't judging 3 different pumpkin lattes. We were judging 3 different pumpkin coffee
Coffees.
flavors, and
And-
it all just
It was middle of
same.
the road for
Yeah.
me. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst, and it just kind of was okay.
For color, I gave it a 4 because it was close, but not close enough.
I gave it a 2. Just because I thought it was way
Brutal.
too dark. It looked very chocolatey.
It was very chocolatey looking and tasting.
And normally when we get a pumpkin coffee from them, it's that really pretty orange.
Yeah, on her Instagram, she has plenty of pictures of where it's like real nice. So it's just, I don't know, that is weird.
It was sad. It really made me sad because that is like one of my favorite things from Starbucks is that beautiful orange iced pumpkin spice latte or coffee or whatever we end up getting. And the first one we got was like almost black.
Yeah,
Like it was insanely
it was dark.
And the second one, it was better, but it still wasn't
Yeah.
that beautiful Starbucks pumpkin spice color for me.
Yeah, I'm revising. I'm gonna do it like they do on the Gong Show, where I'm crossing it out. I'm giving it a 3.
Don't be Will Arnett right now.
I'm gonna give it a 3. Oh, this is great. 3s all around. I produced this show. Yeah,
I'm Batman, no!
yeah, I'm giving it a 3 because I feel that's more accurate.
So spice level, like I said, that kind of goes along with the taste for me, and I gave it a 2. It was very, very minimal on the spice. It was very, very minimal on everything. It didn't taste like what I remember pumpkin from Starbucks being.
And like you said, it's a standard.
Yeah.
Starbucks is the golden standard of pumpkin spice coffees. So it's like,
I think they're
how
going
are the people
on
better than you?
13, 14 years now.
I don't know. I got that 10th anniversary tumbler because it was like, this is a big deal. But yeah, I think it's like 13 years.
Because I was working at Starbucks at that
think
time.
it's
So that would have been
2010.
about... Huh?
No? 10, 11?
Oh, no, it would have been about 12, 13.
13.
probably 2012. So, God, we're past 10 years at this point.
It's been around forever.
We're at 16 years? I don't know. But either way,
It's almost old enough to vote.
it's been around for long enough that they should know what they're doing, but they keep seemingly changing it the past couple of years. I've been reading some stuff online, mainly on Instagram, from people that have been trying it, saying that it just didn't taste the same this year.
It doesn't. I would agree with that. I don't want to say it's new. It ain't the same.
It wasn't the same, and I don't know if maybe if we got it as a frappuccino or, got it maybe once they're fully established into their fall menu.
It's not going to taste different, though. It's not like the syrup today will be different than the syrup a month from now.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it was the coffee that we had it with that kind of diluted it and made it taste different because the coffee was so off. But either way, it wasn't what I look forward to every year from Starbucks.
No, not at all. Yeah, so that was a 3 for me.
2.
Wow, 2. She's harsh. And then the next, did it remind you of fall? No, it didn't. Why not?
You walk in and you see that billboard and it has the pumpkin spice latte and it has the pumpkin spice frappuccino and you just get so excited and then you get so let down with the way it tasted and the way it looked. And it just, for me, it was just kind of just a really standard, just super sweet, kind of sickly sweet coffee from Starbucks.
I get that. I gave it a 4 because it is. It's a marker. It's a beacon for the holiday season. It really is. I mean, you can go, like I said, into the store and you find all these Halloween decorations, but it doesn't start to be fall until fall is everywhere. Because if you just go to like consignment store, not consignment, but like, like Ross, TJ Maxx, places like that. When you go to those kind of like those stores like that, you'll see Halloween stuff early, but it's not the same. It's when the rest of the world starts to feel Halloween, that's when it really starts. So yeah, I mean, I gave it a 4 because when Starbucks starts getting pumpkin, it is the fall season, even though it was 107 degrees outside today.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So overall, I gave this one a 13.
10.
Which normally 13 is very good, but no today 13.
I mean, I love Starbucks.
Yeah.
I love Starbucks.
She loves Starbucks.
Anybody that knows me knows I love Starbucks, like, honestly. But I was really let down today. I'm hoping that maybe if I go to a different store and maybe get something different with better coffee, it might change my perception of it.
Perhaps.
I think it might have just been the coffee because that first one was like,
Yeah.
it was dark.
And see, you can chalk it up to that, but I mean, I still feel like we got enough pumpkin flavor, and I was drinking it on the way home. I had more of it than she did, and it was good. I mean, maybe that's why I gave it some slightly more favorable scores than she did, but it wasn't where it needed to be.
No.
So yeah, overall, Coffee Bean, you are my winner.
I think
At
I think
19.
that's everybody. Well, I mean,
You gave Duncan higher marks. Yeah, Coffee Bean, you're the winner. I gave you 19. Duncan, I gave you 17. Starbucks, a mediocre 13. And I say mediocre 13, that's a bad thing. You should know that. So, hooray, Coffee Bean. You win!
so just for nostalgia purposes, Duncan kind of won on my books, but
Just by a couple
Coffee Bean was really, really
It was
good.
super good.
Hey guys, so a little bit of an update on our coffee taste test. We ended up going back to Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf today just because that one was really, honestly, really good. Zach ended up getting the ice blended, which is basically like their version of like a frappe or like a frappuccino. It's amazing. Like, tastes like pumpkin pie in a cup, and to the point where you can almost taste the pie crust, which is weird. I mean, what do you think?
I think it tastes good. I really liked it. It's delicious.
So, 2 thumbs up from us. That's definitely, I think that sealed it for both of us. That is definitely our winner this year, especially with that ice blended. So, if you have a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf in your area, definitely check them out. I know that they sell their flavored powders on their website. I don't know if they have the pumpkin on there or not, but definitely worth a try if you guys have one in your area.
Like, I will definitely be going back and getting more of that one. And unfortunately, Starbucks just didn't hit the mark for me
It
today.
missed the mark, if anything. Ooh. It wasn't good.
It wasn't. So definitely leave us a comment down below. Let us know if you've had any pumpkin coffees yet this year. I know, obviously, today is the first day, at least here,
Starting out.
that we've been able to get it. But definitely, let us know. There are a few other coffee chains around, like Black Rock Coffee Bar, Dutch Brothers, and then a couple local places that we'll probably try and do this again with them. and try and do as much pumpkin coffee as we can this year. But definitely let us know if there's anywhere local to you guys or anywhere that maybe even local to us that we should try.
Like I said, we're in Arizona, so don't go saying, "Oh, Tim Hortons," because it'll be like,
I guess we're going to
we
Canada.
ain't going to Tim Hortons. We ain't getting no Timbits.
Aw, Timbits.
Some Timbits. Timbits.
We could go to a hockey game. They have a Tim Hortons in our hockey arena. While you're done and leaving us a comment, make sure you check out our social medias as well. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, and Twitter. And also check out Zach's website, www.themidnightjamboree.com.
You won't regret it, I promise.
Well, until next time, guys, I'm Sydney.
And I'm Zach.
And you've been watching S&Z.
Bye, everybody.